This is your Kick-Ass Life podcast, episode number 187.
This is the Your Kick-Ass Life podcast with Andrea Owen, a no BS guide to self-help and badassery. Because ladies, let's face it, life's too short for it to not kick ass. And here's your host, the girl who serves it up straight with a side of crazy, Andrea Owen.
Hey there, ass kickers. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I am so glad that you are with me. So grateful, as usual, that you choose to spend your time with me. Thank you so much. The episode I have for you today is actually based on a blog post that I wrote a few years ago around the concept of awkward conversations. And I feel like this is the thing that we really need to have more of, that we don't know how to have. And this is something that I talk at length about in my book, How to Stop Feeling Like Shit, 14 Habits That Are Holding You Back from Happiness. More specifically in the chapter around people pleasing and approval seeking, because that's all about boundaries. And that really wasn't like an elective that we could choose in high school. Wouldn't that have been great? Oh man, I think the world would be a different place if we had more self-help options and mandatory teaching in schools. But alas, we are left to our own devices as we become adults. And in that particular chapter in the book, I walk you through exactly how to set boundaries. And I'm going to kind of give you the Cliff's Notes version in this particular episode. One of the things I haven't mentioned in a few weeks is that I'm going to be doing a drawing on January 2nd. January 2nd is actually the birthday of my new book that's coming out. And I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live. I'll be in New York City then, and I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live video with my son Colton. He's 10. He's going to be coming with me to New York. And that evening, we're going to be doing a drawing for anyone who has entered to win some really amazing prizes, like a private session with me, a free spot in an upcoming group program I have called Raise Hell that I'm so excited about. Can't wait to tell you about that. A lot of fancy journals that I'm going to be giving away, 5-minute journal, knock knock journal, mantra band bracelet, Xena Moon candles, the candle company I use. I buy candles for my clients. Amazon gift card. So if you're wondering how to enter to win, all you need to do is pre-order my book. And then from there, claim your bonuses. There are several different bonuses, including a free book club study that I'm offering you. But on that page, you'll see it's really easy. You just click. You're basically sharing about the book on any of your social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And that automatically enters you to win one of these amazing prizes. So that link is over at the show notes, or you can go to yourkickasslife.com/HTSFLS. That's a link to pre-order the book, which I would be so grateful if you did that if you haven't already. And if you've already ordered the book, then you can go to that same link and click claim bonuses. That will take you to be able to sign up for the book study as well as enter to win any of those awesome prizes. And also, the more you share, the more entries you get. So that's how that works. So without further ado, let's dive into this topic. All right, let's talk about something that doesn't always kick ass. Tough, awkward conversations. And I'll start with the truth. Most of us don't have enough of them. I was just talking to a friend recently who had just moved in with her cousin, and she was feeling like she had no say in her space. So it was like her cousin / now roommate was messy and her stuff was everywhere. And my friend was upset and complaining at length about it. And this was not the first time I had heard her complain. It was the second time I had heard her complaining about the same thing. And I asked her, what do you plan on doing about it? And my friend laughed and said she planned on doing nothing, basically just continue to complain about it. We had a good chuckle over it. And really what it came down to was that having the conversation with her cousin would be too awkward and uncomfortable. And I wonder how many of us make that same decision every damn day. How many of us avoid awkward conversations so often that it's affecting our lives more negatively than we even know? I mean, you may think I'm nuts and I don't have a scientific stat on this, but I think it's probably all of us. And I bet you're listening to this and can think of at least one awkward conversation you need to have. Maybe that your mom always asks you when you're going to have kids and it bugs the shit out of you and you'd wish that she'd stop. Your partner keeps joking with you about that you've gained 5 or 10 pounds and you actually don't think it's funny. It hurts your feelings. Your boss is passive aggressive and you really wish she wouldn't do that. Maybe your best friend is always late and you need to ask her to try harder, to be prompt, and to respect your time. Almost every single one of my private clients over the last almost decade has had some kind of conversation that's needed to take place that they're avoiding, whether it's with their adult children, whether it's with their boss or a coworker or someone in HR at their company or their partner, best friend, anyone. Why? Why do they avoid it? It's a really simple answer, and it's because it's uncomfortable. I've avoided many, many conversations because it's uncomfortable. We aren't sure what the outcome will be. What if the other person gets mad? What if they say no to our request? What if they cut us off and say, I don't want to talk about it? What if they get really defensive? What if their feelings get hurt? What if they break up with me? Insert whatever worst case scenario you can think of, right? I'm not here to sit here with my pom-poms, cheering you on and just telling you to go out and do it. You can do it. If that's all you needed, you would have done it by now. You would have just ripped off the Band-Aid and gone out there and done it. What you need are some hard truths as well as a plan. All right. Hard truth number 1, you really have no idea how the conversation will go. No one can promise you it will go well or turn out in your favor. Boo, I know. It would be amazing if that would happen, but truthfully, that's not how it is. Hard truth number 2, the problem and or the way you feel about this, the complaint that you have will not just go away because you avoid it like a public toilet that desperately needs to be flushed. It actually can get worse. The situation can get worse, and sometimes it can get a lot worse. Hard truth number 3, I wish this wasn't the case, but even when you get the tools and do work on yourself, the conversations are still hard. What actually gets better is how you feel having done it. And lo and behold, in most cases, your relationship with the other person gets better too. And now, how do we do this? How do we walk into these difficult conversations without spontaneously combusting with fear and anxiety? For the record, y'all, I don't believe that anyone has ever spontaneously combusted in real life. However, sometimes it feels like that, right? So I have some steps for you to follow. This is where it might be helpful for you to get out a piece of paper and a pen and take some notes. Did you like that? That was like my weird Irish accent. Some notes. Use the Notes app on your phone, whatever. But these are some steps. Step number 1. For these conversations, get clear on what it is you need to say and try to avoid blaming, criticizing, and making the other person wrong. So instead of saying, I really think you're a jerk when you say this to me, you can say, you probably have no idea, but it actually hurts my feelings when you say that. Can I please ask that you stop? Because the reality of it is, a lot of us wait to have these conversations, and we wait and wait and wait, and the pain keeps piling up and piling up, the irritation, the frustration, and we explode. And sometimes we explode about something that's unrelated, and sometimes we explode when they do that thing. Like, we have had it. This is the last time I am going to deal with you doing this, and I'm going to tell you all of the things. So the other person probably has no idea that this has been piling up over sometimes a lot of time, could be years for some people. They have no idea, but it's been festering and festering and festering. So when it does come out, it can be very angry or malicious, and we don't mean it. It's just, we have just had enough. I mean, raise your hand. I have had that experience more times than I would like to admit. And that never, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say never helps in you getting what you want. I mean, have you ever had someone completely blow up at you and lose your shit? And then you're like, oh, I'm so ready for this conversation. Yeah, I'm completely listening. No, because it's going to usually be an argument or some kind of heated confrontation. So you automatically get defensive, and that's going to happen to the person that you're getting really angry with. They shut down and they get defensive. It's just human nature to do that. So again, step number 1, get clear on what it is you need to say and try to avoid blaming, criticizing, and making the other person wrong. This conversation is not going to be something usually that you do on a whim. It's something that you need to prepare for. Step number 2, let go of any attachment to the outcome. Of course you want it to go your way. Of course you want your partner to grovel with apologies or your boss to make big changes because of your requests. But that doesn't always happen. The truth is, some people get uncomfortable with you being vulnerable. And in that moment, they can panic. Which brings me to step number 3, is get clear on what you need to walk away from the conversation having done in order to make yourself feel proud. Most of the time, it's simply making your needs heard, and that's enough to make you feel proud. Many times we put the success of the conversation, like we define success of the conversation in having the outcome go our way. So I'm asking you to redefine what success looks like to you. And it's not necessarily lowering your standards, but it's just a matter of you can't control how that other person is going to react. Of course, you want it to go your way, but that's not always how it goes. Whether it's received well is up to the other person, but all you are responsible for is you. Step number 4, have the conversation at the right time. The discussion is going to be awkward enough. Do it when you and the other person can hear it. Not at 11 p.m. at night when you and your partner are beat tired. Not first thing on a Monday morning when you know your boss is walking into a meeting and has a million emails to deal with. Not when you call your mom and you can tell she's shopping at Ross on 10% off Tuesday. Your timing is important. If you've put in enough effort to where you know exactly what you want to say and what you want, how you want to define the success of the conversation, then you can put in more effort to find the right time. And it's not giving you an out to keep putting it off and putting it off, but find the best time that you can. I believe a lot of change comes from awkward conversations. We need to have more of them. And it's understandable that you're scared. So is the person receiving it. And let's be honest, most of us are scared many moments in the day, and you live through those moments too. Change doesn't happen by staying silent. So, what do you choose? Thank you for listening to this. And again, I would be so incredibly grateful if you pre-ordered my book, How to Stop Feeling Like Shit. Its birthday is January 2nd. It will be in bookstores that day, but it is available for pre-order now. And I heard from my publisher, and it's probably going to ship in about a week. Don't quote me on that, but it's very probable that it's going to ship very soon if you order it online. So thank you so much. All those links are in the show notes, and I will see you next week. And until then, I'll see you in cyberspace. Bye-bye.